Hello, my Bass Ninja family. Today we have a special episode because I'm getting my hair cut and talking about fishing all at the same time. This is my daughter Callie, and Candace will be coming over here. She's going to be cutting my hair. So we're going to cut hair, because we try to kill two birds with one stone. Talk about some of my favorite lures. All right, you can go ahead, Callie. All right, so I'm not sponsored by any of these people whatsoever. And to be honest with you, the first time I heard about Googan, I seen a bunch of baits in Walmart, and I was a little skeptical at first. So the very first thing that I got of Googan wasn't even a bait. It was I guess it's a bucket that you're able to put minnows in and everything, and it comes with like an aerator or whatever. And I have to tell you, though, that was top notch. It's like the best thing ever. I've transported fish because we have a pond from a lake to a pond. Obviously, we took care of and made sure they could go in without dying and everything. But I've used it overnight. It works very, very good. And again, I'm not sponsored by Googan. So that got me hooked on looking into Googan a little bit more. And I subscribed to their YouTube channel, and I started looking at some of the baits that they use. So the first bait that I'm gonna actually talk about is the Kraken Crawl. It's a Googan bait. This thing is a soft plastic, phenomenal. Just like a crawfish, crawdad, whatever you want to call it, depends on where you're at. But here it is right here. It goes on just like a regular worm hook. These are, and they have a nice little smell to them. These are phenomenal. Very first time I used this, my first cast, I caught a small bass using them. Again, I'm not sponsored by Googan. They made a believer out of me just with these baits right here. So the problem is, you're doing a great job, boo-boo. No. Sorry, I should have told you. That way. That's why you're not cutting anything. So I know they have some other baits that I'm going to try out too. The problem is I live in St. Augustine, Florida, and we only have a Walmart here that sells baits, and Googan is not in this Walmart, so I have to go up to Jacksonville just to get my baits. So I'm going to... What?
Where we saw the games and stuff.
Oh yeah, so the Academy has Googan baits. That's a good place to get them as well. But yeah, so I did pick up a frog from there. Their frogs are phenomenal, but I threw it in a tree, so it's floating in a tree. So I was trying to catch tree bass, apparently. My favorite bait of all time to use, though, and I actually don't have one of my colors that I use in here, I don't think. No, I don't. But my favorite bait of all time is the Super Fluke. I actually like this color too, but I use a pearl white. If I can't catch fish on any lure, if I put this on, it's like a Steph Curry cheat code in basketball. It is a cheat code. I will not go skunked by using this. If you've never used a Super Fluke, these are phenomenal. The bass absolutely love these things and the way they work in the water. So I suggest a Super Fluke. Okay, one of the baits that I got introduced to actually by my oldest son, because he was using it, I've never fished with it before, is a lure that's like a walk the dog. You kind of give it little jerks and it goes back and forth. It looks so awesome in the water, but I like using this one. It makes noise, but also it kind of goes like, it's hard to say, like a little zigzag when you do it, and the bass absolutely tear this up when it's on top water. I will tell you with this though, it's like getting a workout. You get a very good workout using this because you're constantly just jigging it all the way in the whole time. So it's a little bit different than a jerk bait. You got to work it a little bit more to get it to work right. Sometimes you do it fast, sometimes you do it slow, but this is phenomenal. I like this one right here. I recently got hooked on this because of PW, Phil. He actually one day was like, had an extra one, and he's like, hey, why don't you try this out? And we just recently went to a pond, and I was like, you know what, I have a hunch, I have a feeling down in my gut that I should use this because it was really, really deep. So I used a medium, it's just a medium, medium dye, but I used this crankbait, and look at the color, it's beautiful. It's by Berkey, and it's a beautiful bait. But I used this very first cast, caught a bass with this. It's about a 2-pounder. It's awesome. It's actually on video on our YouTube channel. So the second bass that I caught was the first time using this, was this bait right here. So I suggest using this when you're going to ponds that are really deep. We went to a pond that's like 100 years old. It's so deep. So I wanted to use this because it was kind of a rough day fishing. We figured they were all down at the bottom. So caught 2 on this actually. I only used it a couple of times, so I suggest that. My all-time favorite bait growing up as a kid, is my head still there?
Yes.
All right. Is this Rapala, floating Rapala. I love using this when it's on top water. I have caught a lot of bass using this. Now this is mine. In Florida, I haven't really seen so many people using this, but I grew up in the Midwest. I used to tear them up all the time with this floating Rapala. I would use it like a jerk bait on top of the water, and then also I would use it, reeling it kind of fast, reeling it where it goes underwater a little bit, but I used to tear them up. So those are some of the baits that I use. So let me rehash. Guggen, Crack and Crawl, these are phenomenal. Again, I'm not sponsored by Guggen, but they made a customer out of me. I will be buying a lot of Guggen baits. The Super Fluke, I use 2 colors. I use this green apple color, and I also use white, pearl white. This medium crankbait, this one is awesome. This is by Berkey. And then the Walk the Dog, it's kind of like a minnow looking lure. Watch out, you almost ran into that. And then the floating Rapala. These are the baits that I like to use. I do catch a lot of bass on these. So I hope you liked the video. Callie's doing a great job cutting my hair. Other than that, wait for our next one coming up, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Peace out.